Hello everyone, welcome to Chillin' and Chatting with the Dilophosaur. I'm your hostess, authoress Dilophosaur. And welcome to part 3 or 4. Welcome to the next part of my second playthrough, New Game Plus, of Resident Evil Remake. Had my lunch, got me something to drink. Very satisfied. Now getting ready for my midday crash. Because apparently I have the circadian rhythm of my 70-odd-year-old grandfather. Wants me to be awake at the butt crack of dawn in the morning. Stay awake until between 12 and 2, have at least a 2-hour nap, be awake from the evening, and then go to bed between 11 and 1. And if I go to bed after 2, my body will punish me because I will have the worst headache the next day. C'est la vie once again. But lunch was good. And I don't really have anything to do my afternoon. Just chill and play games and watch TV. If anyone says there aren't any perks to being disabled, at least with some disabilities, they are wrong. They are wrong. And it was actually my disabilities that led me to really seriously consider a career from home. See if I can't make a little money on the stuff I already love to do, and that works really well with my health. I guess we can't open that door yet. Okay. Thinking of where I need to go next. Since I apparently can't open that door like I said we could. Because we need one more mask. We only have 3 and we need 4. Had sour punch straw bites for dessert. Those are one of my favorite, if not my favorite, candies of all time. They're so much better than the actual Sour Punch straws. The flavor's better, the texture's better, and I don't care why they market them as straws, but I have never been able to sip anything through those silly pieces of candy. See if I can find this missing item that's over here. Yeah, but I love sour candies. I tend to like them a lot more than sweet candies, for whatever reason. There's something about acid. Honestly, as I've gotten older, I have I'm grown out of really liking sugary foods and almost preferring to have savory foods over desserts. Oh, okay, I know where this is. But yeah, I'd almost rather just eat more of the curry chicken coconut noodles than if I had my coconut noodles and I had go put these up first so I can get all this stuff. If I had coconut noodles in front of me and a piece of pie, depending on the day and depending on what kind of pie it was, I would almost rather eat the pie first and then save my noodles. I don't know, there's just something about the savory flavor that I tend to like more than the sweet processed sugar dessert flavors. But I think that kind of started when I developed gluten intolerance. I didn't know it was gluten intolerance until I actually talked with a trustworthy nutritionist, and she gave me the idea based on my symptoms. My doctors had no idea what was wrong with me. I was just exhausted. I was getting really bad stomach aches and gastritis. It was gnarly, but I went off wheat, or just gluten, not just wheat, for a while. Quirk brain. And I also, partly because of that, partly because diabetes runs in my family, I decided to cut way, way back on my refined sugars. And after that, ever since then, I haven't been as keen on dessert as I used to be. And actually having too much sugar gives me a stomach ache, makes me sick. And especially when I was just almost off refined sugar entirely, like I could eat like a bland baked chicken breast, no seasoning, no breading, no nothing. And I could taste the flavors of that chicken more than I ever could before. I'd never known a chicken breast could have that kind of flavor. It wasn't like super like, and this is white meat chicken breast, by the way, not dark meat. It wasn't nearly as tasty as dark meat chicken. I tend to like dark meat poultry more than white meat. But yeah, there was flavor there. There was flavor that I never knew it had. I just thought chicken was mostly pretty tasteless, except for the flavor of chicken, and even that was just kind of there. But I'm eating more refined sugar than I used to. I'm just not, it's not out of control. Oh man, I lost, don't want to get stuck on this too long, but suffice it to say, my journey to controlling my weight and bettering my diet has been a long and winding road. I lost a huge chunk of weight in college, then I gained it back after because of mental health issues. Then I lost some again, then I gained. It's just been such a tit for tat, back and forth. But right now I'm just trying to focus on counting calories, because that doesn't make me anxious. That actually helps me. Making sure I'm having a varied diet. I'm not eating more than my weight loss or maintenance goals, which is like 1,500 to 1,700 calories. Oh, geez, now where do I go? What do I do? I guess we'll find out. Trying to cut back, or at least keep a strict limit on like my saturated fat and my refined sugar intake. Working on cholesterol. And thankfully for me, since I don't have any medical necessities at the moment that dictate what my diet is. I can even eat gluten now, just as long as I'm not overdoing it. I'm trying to do it with a diet of food that I'm going to consistently eat because I consistently like it. And especially with my autism and ADHD, I can't just go cold turkey on a bunch of food that I don't like. I have to have a diet that's consistent with my tastes. And thankfully I can do that, because I've got my palate has widened, and I'm not as averse to eating healthy, and I'm mostly just eating whatever I want. I'm just keeping a better eye on what and how much I'm eating, and trying to exercise a bit more and get my stress levels down. Okay, there's something up here. Okay, I know what that is, actually. It's those herbs near that crimson head, which we might be able to get without him running up on us, trying to clap our ass. Yeah, but I've plateaued, and I've plateaued at a weight that's not terrible at all. It's just, I liked the way I looked when I was actually skinny and could see my curves. So I'm trying to get back down to that, but I still look better, still feel better, eating better, you know? It's all about the small victories. And knowing that weight loss is not a destination, it's a journey, and it's one we're going to be on. Especially people who don't have the talent like my bestie does to eat whatever she wants and not gain a pound. The woman is has always been a twig ever since high school. She didn't actually start looking womanly. She didn't start filling out until she had kids. And she can still eat whatever she wants. After 2 kids, not gain a pound. She has always looked great. Not me. Nope. I have a bear metabolism. When I eat, if I eat too much, it goes too fat. Okay. I think this guy will let me get these herbs here. Not jump me. But I might want to run now just in case. Reset everything. God, that sound made me jump a little. Okay, I need to figure out what doors I haven't opened with this key. And of course, these zombies very politely just let you go through the door once you've activated the door. These zombies have class. They're not going to interrupt someone as they're... I thought so. They're not going to interrupt someone as they're trying to get through a door. Come on. Who does that? What kind of person does that? There we go. Okay, now I can get rid of this key. And this door... Okay, I think this is the door where I needed the plant fertilizer and the blue gem. Yes, it is. Okay, we're gonna go pick those up, and then we will come back here. What's y'all's favorite season? Mine's fall, as I already said. The heat goes away, but it's not super cold. You know, it's pleasant. Well, typically it's pleasant. Sometimes where I live, it's not at all pleasant. But it's not hot. It's not super cold. It's not super rainy. It's not super dry. It's just nice. And you get you start getting into all the good holidays with all the food that I like to eat, and my preferred holidays as well. I don't really like any of the holidays at the beginning of the year. Then bring the fuel canteen along as well. Okay, and we're gonna get the final death mask here in a minute too. Just see that extra little scene so we can get all the content. Yeah, winter would be my second favorite season just because, again, I don't really like warm weather that much. I like it pleasant, but I like it on the cool side of pleasant. There's a warm sun, but there's a cool breeze, and they just, you know, very quietly blend together. And yes, Halloween is my favorite holiday. Ooh, actually, there's going to be a lot of stuff we need to pick up in there, so let's at least get rid of the this gem first. Pick up the dagger. Yeah, I love Halloween. I love creepy, mystical, supernatural things. You know, spirits and ghoulies and fantasy stuff. Thanksgiving's okay. I mean, it's nice to get together with the family and have, you know, a nice big meal. But I really didn't like Thanksgiving when it got me out of school for a week or two. And Christmas is cool. I mean, it's nice to get gifts. Again, it's nice to have some time off. Okay, we're gonna go down this way first, because there's gonna be stuff we can pick up. Well, actually, no. We're gonna go drop some things off first, before we commit to any of these rooms. Actually, I can probably put the kerosene down for now, just so it can have some space. Yeah, but New Year's, I've never really been in an area and hanging around people that celebrate New Year's. Valentine's is, it's whatever. It's mostly just a corporate holiday, in my opinion. Put that back. Yeah, the plant aside. I mean, spring break is not really a holiday, but that was nice when I was in school. I don't know, like Labor Day and Veterans Day is in November. Veterans Day is cool. I mean, I don't really celebrate it because I don't have any veterans in my family and don't know any veterans that I would celebrate it with, but yeah, it's a neat holiday. Independence Day can be fun, but my family doesn't really celebrate it anymore. Keeper's Diary. May 9th, 1998. Played poker tonight with Scott and Elias from security, and Steve from research. Steve was the big winner, but I think he was cheating. Scumbag. May 10th, 1998. One of the higher-ups assigned me to take care of the new creature. Looks like a skinned gorilla. Feeding instructions were to give it live animals. When I threw in a pig, the creature seemed to play with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before it actually started eating. May 11th, 1998. At around 5 a.m., Scott woke me up. Scared the shit out of me, too. He was wearing a protective suit. He handed me another one and told me to put it on. Said there'd been an accident in the basement lab. I just knew something like this would happen. Those bastards in research never sleep, even on holiday. May 12th, 1998. I've been wearing the damn spacesuit since yesterday. My skin's getting grimy and feels itchy all over. The goddamn dogs have been looking at me funny, so I decided not to feed them today. Screw them. May 13th, 1998. Went to the infirmary because my back is all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on it and told me I didn't need to wear the suit anymore. All I want to do is sleep. May 14th, 1998. Found another big blister on my foot this morning. I ended up dragging my foot all the way to the dog's pen. They were quiet all day, which is weird. Then I realized some of them had escaped. Maybe this is their way of getting back at me for not feeding them the last 3 days. If anybody finds out, I'll have my head handed to me. May 16th, 1998. Rumors going around that a researcher who tried to escape the estate last night was shot. My entire body feels hot and itchy, and I'm sweating all the time now. I scratched the swelling on my arm, and a piece of rotten flesh just dropped off. What the hell's happening to me? May 19th, 1998. Fever gone, but itchy. Today, hungry and eat doggy food. May 21st, 1998. Itchy, itchy. Scott came, ugly face, so killed him. Tasty. 4 - itchy. Tasty. So in the 2 times I played as Jill, and we finished reading that bit of literature there, something would always happen, and it didn't happen that time. As you could see, the door to that closet was moving like something was trying to get out of it. Gonna go ahead and get the kerosene. there's at least one more item in that room that we need to get before we can come back. Yeah, I think I know what it is about the pre-rendered stuff that's creeping me out. That's not the ambiance. Like the difference between that and the way that the graphics look for the characters since they're moving. I think it just kind of gets into the uncanny valley for me. Or as I remember from my German classes in college, one of the few things I remember from that class, it's called the Unheimlich. It's basically the same concept between English and German. Now we're going to go back and get this kerosene refilled. I keep forgetting there's a kerosene tub in here. I'm not going to lie. Just because I'm not down here that often doing things at the moment. I'm not down here needing kerosene that often. Yeah, the uncanny. There's just something about the uncanny that it looks good. But the knowledge, the little details that just tell you it's not real. It is very... This is the wrong room, Courtney. Quirk brain. Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. It's just like, there's just something that's just off enough. The graphics being as good as they are, and these little details being just as noticeable as they are. It just hits the uncanny valley for me. And that adds to the ambiance. There we go. This is the right room. Yes, my name is Courtney, for those who are paying attention. I'm not used to calling myself by my name yet. My host name. Username, whatever you want to call it. But for those wondering where I got my name from, I've already mentioned dinosaurs. I've always been a dinosaur fan ever since I was young. And I've been a Jurassic... There we go. Get this guy out of the closet. Ooh. Get over here so I can have some space. Here real quick. Get this out of here, and I think that's all that's in this room. Yes, okay. Tank patrols. Oh well, I really need to shoot him anyway, because he can come out into the hall. Wait for him to come into sight. So he should be dead. Okay. Kerosene away. Yeah, I burn these too because they can come out through they can escape through the door, and this hall is just so narrow. We're gonna go put the kerosene away again. And don't go down that hallway. So long as you haven't been to the room at the end of this other hall here and tried to come back, the zombies should stay on the other side of the windows for now. But yeah, big dinosaur fan. I could pronounce all the names from childhood. You know, love Jurassic Park, love Land Before Time. And one day I just got on the topic of if I was a dinosaur in Jurassic Park, what kind of dinosaur would I be? And decided I wouldn't be the T-Rex, because I'm not big and imposing. You know, I don't have her Riz. I don't have a Rex's Riz. Old key. Oh, we can go get rid of that right now, and that we can have enough inventory space for what's out in this new room that we're gonna head to in just a minute. Yeah, so I couldn't be a T-Rex, and I couldn't be a Velociraptor because I'm not fast, I'm not lithe, I'm not nearly so vicious or have their Riz either. And as you can probably guess, I have a theme, and it's I love carnivorous dinosaurs most of all. I'm very particular about my herbivores. I don't like most of them. Or I could live without them, I guess. They're not bad, they're just not my favorite. And I said, okay, well, what other theropods, which is what most carnivorous dinosaurs, the family of them is called, it's a theropod. What other theropod is there that I could be? And it came to me, and I'm like, I could be a dilophosaur. I'm not super big, not super fast and athletic, but I hide many surprises. I have a nasty bite and vicious spit, which fits perfectly in my role as a college graduate English major and writer. I be spitting them words, bruh. Be spitting them words, boy. So that was kind of it. It just stuck. And so I chose Authoress Dilophosaur. Authoress for obvious reasons. I have written books and poems and gotten things published. And Dilophosaur is just a really cool dinosaur, one of my favorite animals. Simple as that. Nothing super profound. Okay. There's gonna be this guy over here. Tank controls, tank controls. These tank controls can just be so disorienting. Run past this guy, go in here. And then we'll take care of these guys later and just get them out of the way. Or we'll take care of at least one of them. Now we can go and unlock this gate and have a shortcut, which will be very useful. And that way we can... There we go. We can head back out. Head back to the foyer. Yeah, Jill automatically comes with a lockpick instead of the lighter, so she could have unlocked that without needing the keys. The username of choice that I used to use was called Phantomfly, which is a reference to another video game series I've played that I really enjoy, called Xenosaga. Most people have never heard of it. But it was... The first game came out about the time of Final Fantasy X. And the game was actually produced... The producers of the game, Monolith Soft, were people who broke away from Squaresoft. I think it was Squaresoft. It was still Squaresoft and not Square Enix. That made Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2. I'm not sure though. I don't know exactly what the year was that Square and Enix merged together. But a portion of Square had broken off because the game that they were trying to make, I think it was Final Fantasy VIII. They were working on a script and stuff for Final Fantasy VIII. And it was too dark, and the themes and the world and everything were just not really matching up well with what the... I didn't have to go through that door. I'm getting distracted. With what the producers wanted for the Final Fantasy series. So these people really thought they had a game worth playing. And so Square let them branch off and become their own company. And the game that they ended up making, that would have been... Or was it 7? It was either Final Fantasy VIII or Final Fantasy VII that this script was for. But the game they would end up making ended up being the most successful and renowned games of all time, and that's Xenogears. And I have played a bit of Xenogears. I kind of fell out of it because I got bored with not the story and the characters, but the gameplay was just, in my opinion, it just got really tedious. And you kind of needed a walkthrough for it, because it was a bit too challenging for me when I played it. Or at least I didn't have the patience for it. But yeah, they made Xenogears. And the producer had a lot, or the director, the creator, let's just say, of Xenogears had a lot of ideas that were tied into that universe that he and she, it was a pair of people who are now married. They married because of their shared interest in games and stuff like that, which was really cool. They had a lot more stories they wanted to tell in that vein. And their next game that they made was Xenosaga. In my opinion, not just a very good game, but one of the best PS2 games ever made. Yeah, we put the fertilizer in there, and we go over here. The lid on this water pump is open. Pump the water. Yes. Which way will you turn the switch? Pick the red switch. Pick the red. You will send... Yep, and now we can kill a deadly living plant that would be hanging around that fountain and could potentially kill us if we didn't use the plant fertilizer. But if we'd used the green, it would have killed this entire shelf of 5 free green herbs. And now we can get the last death mask. And we can start collecting some of these herbs before we head out. And we can come back here for whatever's left over. Hopefully we only have to come down here once. Oh, hey, I think just once. I thought we were going to have to do that twice. Thankfully we can combine things, and that can make our trips a little less. Yeah, I thought this was a trick question. I picked the green nozzle first, and I killed all those red herbs, and I was like, no! So I restarted the game. Just restarted the game. Didn't want to deal with that. Okay, yeah, and now we get to deal with these guys. Okay. I think I spent a bullet I didn't need to. Ooh. A little close there, buddy. You gonna pop back up, or are we done? Okay, I see the blood. Alright, we just need to use kerosene on these guys now. Yep, pretty simple. Because the switch is so... Oops, sorry, I'm getting a little too loud. Because the switch is so big and red, I thought it was too red and too obvious at first to be the right answer, but no. It's a trick question.
Are you okay? Want me to treat your wounds?
No, we're good.
No, I'm okay. But if something should happen to me, I'm counting on you.
No problem. But we're very short on medical supplies, so take care of yourself.
Where's she been? Because she hasn't been in the room the last few times I've been here. Okay. Put these herbs up. I kind of like to try and keep my different herbs together. Actually, we're going to combine these with some of the others so we don't have this extra item in here. Or two. There we go. A little OCD. Might even have OCPD, which is very similar but different. In case you're wondering, that's obsessive-compulsive disorder and obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. And... Ooh. Yeah. Okay, now we trade that for the shotgun. We get the fuel canteen. We can load a couple of the masks in here as well. And be sure to equip myself with a gun so I'm not defenseless. Although I do wonder at some of the decisions they made with the combat system. I know it's not supposed to be too easy, even on very easy mode. But it's like, if you have a survival knife, why wouldn't you use that in place of the daggers to stab zombies in the eye? Like, if there was like some flavor text that's like, this knife is too serrated to be pulled out of an enemy's skull. You know, if they did something like that, That would be a bit better. But if you, like, ran out of bullets in, like, your shotgun, why wouldn't you just... If you really, really had to, just turn the shotgun around and just bash a zombie's head in with it. I mean, I know guns aren't that durable, but still, you get a good hit or two. Okay, no,
No.
Just press start if you want to cut through these little scenes here. Thankfully, we don't need her to treat us at this moment. Oh, I'm in the wrong room again. Quirk brain. But yeah, hit something over the head with a shotgun. Use your survival knife in place of the daggers. You know, maybe there was something in the Japanese that explained that and just got lost in the localization. Which Resident Evil localizations, at least for the old games, have been a bit famously odd. Which is how we get things like the Jill sandwich quote. What else? Or, like, if you were just unarmed, and especially if you were a nice, big, thick guy like Chris. Got all this muscle, got all this bone density, you know. Why wouldn't you just roundhouse kick a zombie in the head? At the very least, you could maybe kick their head off. You know, or try and punch him in the jaw. I don't know. I just feel like limiting these characters the way they've been limited, it just kind of breaks the immersion for me. It's a bit too illogical, especially since people are trained search and rescue, you know, kind of... I think in the Resident Evil 3 remake, someone from one of the soldiers from Umbrella actually calls Jill a special forces agent at one point. But I might be mixing that line. But still, you know, these people are very combat trained, very capable people. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. It's not like super terrible, you know, but you could still get, especially I mean, this remake was made for the GameCube a while ago, and it was ported to the PS5, but, you know, I think they just could have done more. Still kept the challenge, but tried a little harder, I guess. I don't know. I'm just a writer, not a game designer. Blah. The ways we work overlap, but they aren't one for one. Yeah, but for me personally, it just kind of breaks the immersion a little bit. And then, like, one way you could do it is, like, if you did try to hit a zombie in the head with a shotgun, you could have, like a damage meter at the bottom of the picture of the shotgun in your inventory. And once it was gone, the shotgun was broken. Well, if you found any more shotgun stuff, well, too bad. If you didn't have the automatic shotgun, you're just SOL. Alright, and it is highly recommended you have the shotgun for this. Or in Jill's case, especially try and save Richard so you can get the automatic shotgun. A stone statue with a hole where the eyes should be. And from what I can understand, or from what I've seen in this game, you do have to read all this flavor text before you can attach the masks. A stone statue with holes where the eyes, nose, and mouth should be. That's nasty. I don't want to see my dry cleaning bill. A stone statue with a hole where the nose should be. A stone statue with a hole where the mouth should be. And then we can run around here. that triggers this cutscene automatically. Hold down your targeting button immediately and just... Okay. Thankfully I have a dagger with me, or a grenade. Oh, that's how that works. Okay. I'm glad I didn't take too long to do that in case he would have just gotten the grenade out. And here we get some more shotgun ammo. And then we look in the coffin for our next item that will open up the next set of areas. Stone and metal object. We got another achievement. Yeah, on normal mode, there would be 2 zombies out here, one in this area and one guarding the shotgun shells that we got when we were out here last time. I think we've already gotten those. Let me just double check here, just to be sure. Yes, we did. Yeah, and that's the lesson I learned from the last 2 times I fought that guy, is just keep moving, like with the yawn, which is the giant snake. It's called the yawn, Y-A-W-N. And shoot, and just take your shots. Take 1 shot at a time. And so now, I'm trying to remember my map. It's over this way. And we need to go. It's down here. We can go put the stone and metal object into something, and that will unlock the next section of the game. Which I kind of like better after running through the mansion back and forth all the time. This, especially when you know where everything is, it just kind of gets a little boring after a while. It's just, you've seen everything, you've been everywhere. If you're not unlocking doors, or if you know you don't have many more doors left, it's just kind of dull. But if nothing else, especially on the tank controls, the very easy modes are nice to just enjoy running around if you want a game where you can just not have to think very much and get to decompress a bit. Okay, there we go. Nailed it. Nailed it! For anyone who's a fan of Hellsing Ultimate. Oh, dang. Thought that thing was gonna... I thought I was too late with that. Yes, you will always get jumped by at least 1 dog out here. And here... Oh, okay, we have to interact with this first, I think. There's something written in the indentation. The defiler of the accursed coffin. Okay, or maybe I was just in the wrong spot. Put that down here. And that then unlocks this door. Get some more shotgun shells. Get some, another, I think this will be another grenade right here, yep. And then, this first aid spray. And then, I didn't get all of the herbs, the red herbs from that place where we had the kerosene and the dogs. I'm gonna go out here first. Sorry, those clicking noises are me popping my knuckles. And there are dogs out here, so just be careful.
Come in. Does anybody hear me?
This is Chris.
This is Brad. Stars Alpha Team. Bravo Team. It doesn't matter. Respond. I repeat, this is
Brad, this is Chris. Brad? Damn. Thing's broken.
I say that with my very, or relatively emotionless face. Ah! Yeah, be really careful here. Yeah, just be aware. There should be one more. There it is. Yeah, the shotgun, you can get two things at once if you aim it correctly. That wasn't too bad. I was just a little slow on the trigger. Didn't aim properly. Alright, and that blue herb, which cures poison, should be a warning that you're gonna have poisonous enemies to deal with. Or venomous enemies, rather. And by the way, when, just a little me being particular, me also being a bit of a grammar Nazi from English class, poisonous and venomous are not interchangeable. A venom is a poison, but not all poisons are venom. Venoms are poisons that have to be actively injected into a victim, like with a stinger or fangs. We don't have what we need here, and there's nothing on the floor out here, so we can just go back. Whereas a poison can just be passively applied, like a poison dart frog. Poison seeps through their skin if they feel threatened or if you press on the skin too hard. So, when Rebecca says that the yawn is a poisonous snake, I think when Richard says it too, they are technically incorrect. It is a venomous snake, not a poisonous snake. It might be poisonous. We don't have any proof saying otherwise, but when they're talking about the context of Richard's arm and the fact that it can inject poison through a bite, it is a venomous snake. Just to set that record clear. Pay attention to this sign. It seems to be some kind of signpost. Each direction is accompanied by a corresponding destination. North, Valley of Destruction. South, Cave of Hatred. East, Summit of Madness. West, Path of Revenge. And also pay attention to these little weathercocks here.
Respond.
Wesker?
Monster chains. Tree. Not exist. Away from woods outside the mansion.
If this was Jill playthrough, she would get that message from Barry instead of Wesker. So now we see these dogs. A statue with blue eyes. This reads, "The last gasps of destruction." A statue with red eyes. The inscription reads, "The war cry of revenge." So we go back up here, and we stop this at the north, I believe. You have to time it just right. Yeah, you want the dogs to be facing outward, toward the woods. And then this one we stop when it's pointing west. And yeah, it's more prudent to wait for the statue, for the weathercock to slow down, because it's easier to hit. Fun fact, those three-headed dogs can give you a clue to the name of... Uh-oh. My mother is calling me. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Bye. Nothing major. My parents just have to go pick something up for someone who's out of state. Anyway, these statues here can give you a clue as to the Dobermans. Those are statues of Cerberus, or Kerberos, in the original Greek, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And we're going to come back here very quickly. Cerberus, as we know it pronounced, or Kerberos, or Kerberos. It's a three-headed dog. Uh-oh. It is the name of the three-headed dog that guards the gates to the underworld in Greek mythology. the pet and servant, the monstrous pet and servant of Hades, god of the dead. And Cerberus is also a child of Typhon and Echidna, the king and queen of monsters. Most of the monsters, or many of them you see in Greek mythology, have ties either to them or to the actual pantheon of Greek gods in some way or another. And we'll get those in a minute, because there's other things we need to pick up in here. Run around in here. There's this fire. I'm trying to be sure I'm getting everything. The map of the courtyard. There we go. We still have items in some of these areas. And then there's an item box and a typewriter in here. We can go ahead and put this away. I might combine this so we can just have it not take up a space. I just like keeping all my... Actually, we do need that here in a second. And it will be a good idea to change from the shotgun to the handgun. Because we don't... There's not really anything out here that we need the shotgun for. Go down here and get this crank. And head back up this way. And there's still something in here that I haven't picked up yet. We go over to this window. You see there was something there. Something's in here with us. A family picture. You see there's a young girl next to what appears to be a woman, or between a woman and a man. There's a journal left by someone. 19. Daddy attached first. Mom attached second. Inside red and slimy. White and hard. Not true, Mom. Where? Dunno, Dad. Found Mom again. When attached Mommy, she moved no more. She screaming. Why? Just want to be with her. Mom, where? I miss you. Okay, now we've gotten everything, and we go back out this way. And whether as Chris or as Jill, you will get hit on the head, and you will be knocked unconscious. I tend to run the wrong way for this, but you cannot shoot her and get her to leave you alone. You can't kill her. You have to wait for her to swipe at you, and then you run around her. Oh. Come on. I have to wait. Try to get around. Ugh. I was fixing to say, thankfully she telegraphs her attacks. I thought I moved the correct way, and I didn't. Just run for the exit, get out of the house. And then there will be these 2 green herbs out here that you can use if you get hit too much. I think on the higher level difficulties, like 1 hit from her will just kill you. Just pick these up. And combine them, or just use them. I'll go ahead and use one just to get back up to health. Got about less than 5 minutes left in this recording. And a zombie will appear down this way. He's really easy to get around, though, so don't worry about it. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, this angle for this particular bit here is a bit confusing. Just go around the tree this way. And then just head back through here, and that will reset where he is. And we are going to go back into the cemetery, this other cemetery, and drop off the wind crest. And for what you do next with the wind crest puzzle, you need to have at least 3 open spaces in your inventory, which I don't have right now. Also, leave these birds alone. If one starts flying, just keep moving, because these things will attack you. Yeah. I can't do this puzzle yet. Just keep moving, just keep moving, just keep moving, just keep moving. Try not to get too close to them. That's what gets them flying. So just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And just get out a gate if you want to reset them. Alright. We're heading back up here so I can use the crank. And then if we went back into that house after you'd escaped from that thing, she would be gone and that house would be another safe spot. You can save and transfer items and do whatever. She won't, at least on the lower difficulty, she doesn't come back. Been popping my knuckles ever since I was young. People say it's harmful. I can see why, especially if it hurts my knuckles. Sometimes it does. I can't not do it. My fingers feel too stiff if I don't pop them once in a while. It's just so annoying. And a little painful when I don't pop them. But it's partly also just a way I stim autistically. It's just the relief from the knuckle popping is very relaxing. Okay, here we use the crank, which will open this way. You can hear the sound of a waterfall in the distance. We will need this again, so just bear that in mind. Now we're going to go down this way just because there's another item box and typewriter that we can find pretty soon. And in this area too, just learn to keep moving, shoot. Well, not right now, because it's going to lull you into a false sense of security right here, but just be aware, have a gun, a loaded gun with you, and shoot when necessary, and just keep moving whenever not. Then there's blue herbs here, and more crows. Okay. Pick that up. Keep moving, just keep moving, just keep moving. Alright, take note of this little, some kind of transparent creature swimming around in the water. Okay, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. We'll reset the crows. I have just about a minute left in this recording, and I think that's just enough time to get to the typewriter. Pick this up. And now... yeah, just keep moving through this area. If you just keep moving, you shouldn't get bitten. Just don't panic. Follow the way. We don't have any more items to pick up here, so we can get back in here, and that will reset the snakes. Alright. Here we are in our next relatively safe area. And I don't have any room in my inventory to get those, so... and here we are in our next save area with less, well, about 20 seconds to go. Some more items in here. We're going to drop some things off. And I have about 15 seconds left. So if you liked this comment, please, or liked this content, I'm sorry, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I welcome all feedback, and I hope you have a blessed day. Later.